In this first look video from InfluenceWP, we are checking out a WordPress plugin called uiXpress, which is going to completely modernize the WordPress dashboard. Before we poke around the website here a bit and then look at the actual solution together, just a quick bit of housekeeping. First look videos cover products that we have no prior experience with. They show vendors how new users experience their website and product for the very first time. These videos are unedited, high-level introductions that are not paid for, they're not sponsored, and they contain no affiliate links. If you like videos like this created for your business, go to influencewp.com/partners and request your free partner membership. And we thank uiXpress for being a partner. If you like what you see in this video, go over to our site, find the deals section, and grab the exclusive offer for uiXpress. All right, so the website we are looking at today is uiXpress.co. And a little bit of transparency before we continue on. I have been over for a lot of years since uiPress first came out. I used it extensively. Over the years, there's been a lot of transitions. There was uiPress introduced uiXpress, and then there was another kind of a product. There was like 3 different products. One was like a third one was kind of geared towards WooCommerce. So all of these products were floating out there, and it was pretty clear that the community was confused by what feature was in what. And it also became pretty clear that the developer behind this product wasn't sure which direction, what tool that they should focus on. So the full transparency here is there's 2 things. One, I have used this stuff in the past, but I have not seen this particular product, uiXpress, in a very long time. So that's why I'm treating it as a first look video and not an extended look video. It has changed completely since I used it last. I kind of paused my usage while I waited for the developer to decide what direction they want to go. The other bit of transparency is they're taking their uiPress Pro, like all the premium stuff, and that they're rolling that currently into uiXpress because the sentiment was we want something powerful yet simple to use. So it's going to all converge under the uiXpress umbrella, and that's where it's currently going right now. So eventually, we're just going to have uiXpress, from what I understand, and it will be extremely powerful and, of course, simple to use. But we're going to see it in this video, just what it looks like today. And yeah, so let's go ahead and just go through all the features. We're going to look at some key pages like an about page, changelog, pages of that nature that help establish trust with potential customers. So right off the bat here, I see a features link in the nav area of their header. So we're just going to go to all features. I want to rattle all of these off in case we miss some when we go to look at the actual solution. Everything you need to modernize and streamline your WordPress admin experience: an advanced dashboard, global search, plugin manager, media library, modern post tables, users management, admin notices, and admin modernization. Key capabilities: faster workflows, beautiful design, comprehensive tools, powerful search, fully customizable, zero performance impact. All right, so that covers the features. Let's go look for an about page. Here we go. Looks like that link is currently dead, so we will skip that. So just a bit of feedback for Mark over there at uiXpress. And I got to start remembering to call it that, uiXpress. Looks like you've got a broken link there. Maybe that's intentional while you're working on things. Let's go to the docs. So it looks like we have some nice docs here. Let's go ahead and go into one of these. Here's our getting started. This looks nice. We have the ability to search. So let's do a search for something. Here we go. Let's go settings. Yeah, really nice search, a really nice search feature. The documentation looks excellent. Good stuff. All right, that takes us over to a different domain, a subdomain. So let's go back to the main domain, and we are going to look for a changelog. I'm going to do a quick search. Okay, not there. Maybe it's in the docs. Let's go back to the docs and do a search for our changelog. Okay, not seeing it there. Pricing, news, docs, demo, login, get started. I thought for sure there was a change log somewhere. But yeah, let's actually go through these two real quick. Let's scroll down here. You can see some of the screenshots of how modern your dashboard is going to look. Yeah, so some really nice screenshots of what you're going to expect. But we're going to look at this together. You will have light and dark mode, don't worry. So it's not all going to be dark. Just trying to see if I can run into a change log here. I thought for sure I saw one somewhere. Okay. Yeah, so a bit of feedback there. If there is a change log on here, and I know that Mark is really good with change logs. He has another product that is a partner of InfluenceWP called Snipfault, and he has an amazing change log over there. So maybe it's just hasn't made its way over here just yet, or I'm just missing it. So I apologize if I'm missing it, but we'll go ahead and move on, and we'll go ahead and just go look at the actual solution and see what it's all about. We'll keep the documentation open in case we need it. So I have it installed and activated, and as we see, it all completely changes the WordPress dashboard already. What I want to do while I think about it here, let's duplicate this tab. In this first tab, let's turn off uiXpress just so you can get a sense of how drastically different it is. So here's the before. You don't have any options for dark mode in WordPress core. They don't allow you to toggle on a dark mode. And if you love dark mode as much as I do, this is a huge upgrade. So let's go. So that was the plugin table. Let's go to the plugins table so you have an apples to apples comparison. Let's go turn this on. There we go. So that's the plugin table with it turned on. Here's the before. Here's the after. So a bit more modern. Okay. Let's go back to the root dashboard. I'll just do this one more time. So if we go over here, let's deactivate. Sorry, let's go over here, dashboard. Here we go. And then over here, we're going to deactivate it. Otherwise, we're going to keep switching back and forth 100 times. So here's the dashboard right now. Just take note of what this looks like by default. And then here it is now. So you can see it just looks cleaner, more modern. My understanding that WordPress core is moving towards an admin UI refresh in version 7.1. We'll see if it makes it in there, how that transpires. But this plugin also gives you additional features. It's not just a design. It's more features. All right. So let's go ahead and make sure we've got this activated. And as I said, I much prefer dark mode here, but we're going to go ahead and just figure out how to switch this over to light mode. Because I think if a poll was taken and people had to absolutely choose, I think the majority of people would choose light mode. I think it is what it is. But we'll go ahead. So because of that, let's go ahead and switch to light mode. By default here, and this was just by chance. I did not know where to go and set this. This just shows that the plugin is set up. The way that I would set it up is my first initial impression was just to go right up here into this top right icon because it's not a notification, it's not a home, it's not help and support. Maybe this one would be this little setting screen options. Actually, now that I look at it, it's probably where I would go. I could also do a search for the setting. So here we go, dark mode. So that's going to take you, that's something that WordPress doesn't offer out of the box right there, what you're seeing. The command palette might get you somewhere. I think, what is it? Command K. Control K. Let's see, what is that? Let me do a search on my other screen. WordPress command palette. I need the short code. not the shortcode, sorry, the keyboard shortcut. Command K on Mac, Control K on Windows. Control K. There we go. So what uiPress is kind of doing is just it's taking that shortcode away from shortcut, keyboard shortcut away from WordPress. So if I go over here, deactivate uiXpress, now I do a Control K. There you go. So obviously there's no dark mode for me to search here, but like users, can we get into users? Yeah, we can. So it's just modernizing the more modern version of the command palette plus some more features. Okay. But still, for some reason, my eye went immediately to this eye icon. I don't know why, but it did, and it worked out. So let's go ahead and I forgot if I already said it, but we see here that it defaults to your system. So if you're a user that on your workstation you like to use light mode by default, it's part of your system setup, then you're good to go automatically. So I use dark, so that's why it's dark. So let's go to light. All right. So aside from just the aesthetics, over here, it's clear that it looks different. So aside from aesthetics, what do we get? Let's just run through some of these features up here. Starting at the top right, we saw that the theme, the ability to log out up there, any notifications that we have, plugin updates, things of that nature. Those are going to appear in that notifications area. A quick link to visit the site. Here we have help and support. And then here we have screen options. Let's save that to last. Let's click on this little, okay, so that's an icon to bring up basically the updated, we'll call it the updated command palette. Here you can search through whatever posts, users, super, super cool. And then you've got some quick CTAs here, search through post, find users, and whatnot. You've got some quick actions here, which is nice. Escape to close. That's cool. All right, let's go over here now to this. What are we calling that again? Screen options. Let's click into there. With that selected, we can hide or show descriptions, hide or show automatic updates. And this is going to differ based on the screen you're on. So if we go back to the root dashboard and go to that screen element, I keep forgetting what the name of that, screen options. There we go. You're familiar with these. You've seen these many times before, the screen options. What widget do you want to show in your WordPress dashboard? And again, this is going to all differ depending if I'm on the update screen and I go to, that actually removes the screen options. Let's go to posts. That removes it too. So it depends on what screen you're on. Okay, media brings that back. You want to display the author, uploaded to, comments, dates, number of items per page. It's as it says, it's screen options. All right. Okay, that satisfies all of those or covers all of those options up there in the top right. Now we see over here, uiXpress menu item. Let's go in there. Here it looks like we can search through the settings of uiXpress. Let's go into one of these. Let's go database. Let's find a word here. Let's go SQL queries. Now let's go back to the root and let's see if we can find that by doing a search. There we go. So that's really cool. I posted about this on social media not too long ago where I think it would be really cool if WordPress adopted this at the core. So the ability to also traverse through plugin settings. So imagine what we did just there, but imagine being, this is a little aside from uiXpress, but imagine being able to use the command palette. Imagine you're just in WordPress right now, and there's a setting within uiXpress that you want to change. Imagine being able to go here and just type in that SQL queries, and it's going to go out and find all of the potential settings. Either it's in WordPress core or it's within a plugin that you've got installed on your site. I think that would be a really cool thing. Little side tangent there. Okay, so let's just run through these, starting with the general. We've got our license key. You can apply a logo. So this will be, this is from my past experience. I know this. See where it says UIX up here? Your logo can go up there. So if you want to brand it, if you have dark mode, you'll want to set your dark mode logo there. Really cool that you don't have to just select an image. You can paste in the URL if you want. Remote sites. Configure remote WordPress sites for cross-site operations. Interesting. Cross-site. Cross-site. Here we go. Let's see what this does. Multi-site management. Manage multiple client sites from a single interface without switching browser tabs or windows. That is really cool. So what I'm thinking this does, is imagine this is my agency site, InfluenceWP.com, for example, and I've got clients that I want to help them control their settings on their sites. I could come in here, put their URL. Let's just do that. Let's go InfluenceWP. We would need to go in. So you put the domain name in there and then the username and the application password. If you're not familiar with application passwords, you can go in. I could go into the user account on the InfluenceWP.com website, go into a user account and assign an app password that's then going to come back here and connect to uiXpress, allowing this remote sites feature to work. And then you click add site here. Let's just go ahead and we'll just do, we'll just pretend. And then click add site. There we go. That's really cool. So we just keep doing that for all of the sites that we want to manage. I didn't know this was in here. That is really, really cool. All right. So that is the remote sites feature. I'm trying to, I don't know what's allowed though. That's the only thing. Like, what are you able to do? Perform bulk operations. Is that, so maybe you could like things like manage users across the board. So log out all users in one shot potentially. I kind of want to set this up. Let's do this. Let's go. I'm going to pause. I'm going to let me get logged into InfluenceWP's website and we'll see what's what. So bear with me just a second. Okay, so I went ahead for privacy reasons. I went ahead and just while I pressed pause, I went ahead and I set this up for real on InfluenceWP's website. And you'll see that right here. But I want to show you in case you're not familiar with app passwords. If you go over to users, and let's just pull up my user account here. And there's going to be an area down here, application password. So all you got to do is just come in here and type in, for example, uiXpress and click add application password. When you do that, it's going to give you a key or a password. You copy that. And then that's what I came over here and plugged into this area right here. Okay. So it's going to go right into that application password, put their username, the password, add the site. You're good to go. Now, I don't know what we can do with that. Is the only thing. Maybe we'll run across that here in a bit. But no, maybe I didn't save my changes. Save. Let's go ahead and refresh this. Okay, so that's still in there. Configure remote WordPress sites for. Let's just try this. Let's go to users. I'm jumping ahead. We're going to go to users. Modern users page. Replace the classic WordPress users page with a modern responsive user. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Save. Let's go over to users. Here we go. So we've now got a completely different look, totally modern. How do we do the remote sites? That's kind of what I'm really curious about to start. Let me try adding it. Can I add a user to my remote site? Okay, so I'm still trying to figure out what the operations are. Let's go back over here, remote sites. Let's do a search for remote sites. Upload media to remote sites, manage plugins and themes, edit content and settings, use cases. Okay, here we go. Switch between, oh, okay. Switch between sites, configure. Okay, we did that. Switch between sites. Look for the remote site switcher in the admin area. Select a remote site. Okay. So it's not necessarily bulk operations. Look for the remote site switcher in the admin menu. All right, let's go to users. Okay, I'm just up here at the top. We got notifications, minify the menu. Let's see. Let's go back to the main dashboard. Not quite sure how you switch. Let's go to media. Switch between sites. Look for the remote site switcher in the admin menu. Select a remote site from the drop-down. I'm not seeing it anywhere. Oh, here we go. I think it's right here. Local. There we go. Okay, that's really, really cool. Okay. That's cool. So we switch over here. Can I see the media library once I switch this? Remote site switching. When you switch to remote site, all API requests will be sent to that site instead of this one. Oh, here we go. Remote site switching works on modern media page, modern plugins page, menu creator, activity log. Okay. Really, really cool. All right, let's go ahead and switch. I understand. Okay. So it's not actually seeing, this probably makes perfect sense. You probably need uiXpress on the other site, on the remote site. So that's my fault. But trying to think if I can get it quickly installed on this other site. Okay, so what I did since hitting pause is I thought better against it just for privacy and just not wanting to do this on the live InfluenceWP site. I'm testing this on another sandbox site. So I've got that already set up here, and we're gonna try this out again. So now I feel comfortable with what we're about to try and do. Okay, so let's go back over here, top left, switch from local to the changelog WP sandbox site. And we were going to, what were we going to do? We were going to go under license key. Okay. Okay, I had to do some quick licensing. So here we're going to try this again. We're going to switch up here in the top left from local to our test site. Oh, that's my bad. All right. Okay, I had yet another brain fart there where I was trying to connect to our actual another live site instead of our sandbox site. That is now ironed out. We are definitely good to go now. So again, up in the top left, we're going to switch from local to sandbox. There we go. Now we're able to connect. Now what I want to see is if I change this, let's go to settings. If I change this to say dark mode, let's see here. If I flip this to dark mode right here, if on my remote site, if it flips it to dark mode, that works. But this screen we're on now, it stays light mode. We know that it's that it's working on that remote site. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, it's doing it here. Okay, so let's what can we do? Can we create an admin notice that appears on the other site, the remote site? So let me just test this out. I basically just want to prove like that it works and that we can do all kinds of really cool stuff, with this. So let's test. Notice will appear here. Notice type, we're going to change it to an error. Target roles, we're going to go all. Is it dismissible? Yes. Is it active? Yes. Display the notice to users? Yes. Okay. Preview this notice. Okay. So we got to type this in. This is a uiXpress error test. All right. We will do that. Let's make this big and bold. I guess there we go. Italics. All right, there we go. Let's just roll with that and click update notice. Notice updated. So on my other site, I do see a notice. Let me get this over to you to show you. Okay, so here is my test site, and this popped up right here in the notifications. There we go. So we just sent a notification to a remote site. That is super cool. Now, if I dismiss this, you see right here, there is a dismissed by. If I dismiss this, come over here and we refresh this screen. No users have dismissed this notice yet. It may take a second to come in. Oh, sorry, it's this one right here. There we go. Test published. So this is setting up a new one here, draft notice. So the notice is gone on my other screen. I'm not sure how you can review see this one here, update notice. So this is our old notice right here, but I don't know how we can view it. So that could be a bug. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on. The really cool thing though is that we saw that it works. The remote site thing works. I just wish we could see the history there. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. No, still the same thing. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on. There's lots to see here. So we're going to switch back to local, but we see here there's different things that we saw that screen earlier that talked about all of the different things that you can do. We had to have uiXpress installed on the remote sites. We have to have certain things turned on. So here's the default things that we can do. But one of the things was like the users. If on this side over here, if I was to turn on the advanced users menu, that we should see that light up right here as another option. Let's go ahead and test that. Refresh this screen. Here we go. So now we can do all of those things. Let me see if I can add a user, and then we'll move on to the other. I'm just blown away by this ability. So let's go here. Let's go plus. We'll do test at CWP. All right. So let me show you here real quick. On this side, we've got one user on this site. We're creating a test, trying to create a test user remotely. Let's go ahead and do that. Optionally, you can send a user notification and all kinds of other settings. But we just want to see that it will actually create the user. There we go. There's the user. So cool. All right. Then from here, let's say we want to go over here. Later on, if I go into this user account, there's no website assigned to them. Let's just hypothetically say we want to do that remotely. Coming back over here, let's refresh. There we go. It's already there. There's the website on our remote site. So, all right, super cool. That is the concept of the remote sites. Very neat. All right, we're going to switch back to local and just start powering through some of these. I got hung up on that because that is just, as an agency, that is a really, really cool feature. Okay, so under general, we've got the remote site switcher capability. Who is allowed to do that? You can set that up. Disable theme for certain users or roles. So choose the roles or usernames to disable the theme for. The theme is, as it sounds, it's the styling, right? Search post types. Choose which post types are available in global search. So you can get very granular with that. So maybe you want just to limit it to posts just to speed up the search process. You can do that. Disable global search. Let's move over to login. Modernize the login page. Let's toggle that on and save. Does that open up any? Okay, so I guess all of these settings down here don't really do anything unless you toggle this on, probably. Let's do this. Let me open this site in a private browser so we can see the login page. This is my test. I don't really have login turned on over here or registration or anything like that. So we'll go ahead and skip that, I think. Let's see here. Let's go. Let's get this going. Let's go to appearance. Go. Now we've got the block theme. Now I have to set up all of the nav on this, which I probably should do anyway. So I do have the nav there. Let's go settings. Let's do register. All right, we'll skip that piece. I'm brain farting on how to quickly get that set up. So we'll skip that piece, which is the modern login piece. But from here, you can set a logo, a dark mode. Nope, sorry, wrong one. A login image. So this is optional image will be added to the empty panel in the login page, the login path. Change the log, so you can even change the login URL if you want. So that is cool. Hide login selector. Hide language selector. When hidden, the language selector on the login page will not be displayed. So if you've ever gone to a WordPress login page, you have the option to select a language, so that you can turn that off if you want. Enable turnstile. When enabled, a Cloudflare turnstile challenge will be displayed on the login page to enhance security. Okay, so there's a Cloudflare turnstile by Elliot Soursby that I really love. If you happen to be using uiXpress, then you could potentially not use that plugin. It's a very great plugin. It's free to use. So this will be interesting. The only thing here is I would say is turnstile is spelled wrong, but all good there. So toggle this on, put in your turnstile information. I would like to see a link here to the Cloudflare dashboard where you can enable that. That would be a nice quality of life feature. Moving on under theme, so we kind of hit on this earlier. You can force a global theme, light mode, dark mode, or off. Hide screen options. We saw that, so you can make it so that's hidden. Hide the help toggle, base theme color, so you can go in there and set that up. There we go, InfluenceWP blue. That's cool. And then once you do that, you can set up all of your additional shades. That is really, really cool. Let's go down here. Accent theme colors, accent base. Let's go blue again. Now maybe we'll go red so it like pops out. Here we go. So that's our accent. So we see that right here. We're on this tab, so it's kind of highlighting, accenting that icon right there. Custom CSS, we need to throw some CSS in there. They do that. Let's see if they do any autocomplete or anything like that. Let's just do button. Yeah, I don't think there's any autocomplete here. Yeah, it's all good. But this is a nice, convenient place, and it looks like they give you the ability to search. I'm just quick and dirty. Don't judge me on the CSS. Not necessarily how I do it. It's just quick and dirty. I want to do it. I just want to do a test here. So let's save. Do a search. Okay, that's cool. All right, that is neat. So if you don't already have a way to add CSS to your site that you like or that you want to use, then this is a nice, convenient way to do that. External style sheets. Add URLs to any external style sheets you want uiXpress to load in the admin. So that is a cool feature. White label. So if you are an agency and you want to roll this out to your clients, you can come in here and add a custom favicon or a fave icon, however it is you say it. You can rename uiPress. Maybe you want to say IWP. Text replacement. Customize the text displayed in the WordPress admin area. Enter original words or phrases. Let's see. Oh, you can find and replace. Customize the text displayed in the WordPress. That is wild. So can I replace dashboard with my dashboard? Let's try that and click save. Let's do a refresh. That is wild. That is so cool. Let's do one more. Let's replace WooCommerce with Woo. Okay, that is so cool. Okay. Okay, moving on to menu, submenu style. Choose from whether the submenu opens on click or hover. So see how IWP right here has a submenu items? We could do on hover. So it's hover right there. We see we're hovering over those menu items on the left. Let's change it to click so we can test this. Click, refresh. Okay, so now those submenu items are not there on hover. If we click on it, there they go. All right. Up to you what you want to do there. So I'm going to go back and put that back on hover. Posts. Classic post list view. Switch to WordPress's traditional table layout for posts, removing the modern interface. So let's go over here to the posts. So you have a completely, a more modern interface, but you can turn that off if you want. Let's go over to plugins. Same thing. You want to go back to the classic way of displaying the plugins, which is like this currently. But I like how you can get granular. Let's hypothetically say we don't want that anymore. So here it is now, modern. Let's refresh this. Replace the, oh no, now we turned it on. Okay, I see. That's my bad. Let's do the posts then. Switch to the WordPress traditional. So let's go to posts. This is the modern. And this is going to be the classic on refresh. There we go. Night and day different. Alrighty, let's go back over here. Let's turn that back off. I like the modern view. Let's go to plugins. We did that. Dashboard. Replace the default WordPress dashboard with a modern. Yep. So I think it's that way by. It's saying no though, because we do have a modern dashboard already. So if I say yes here, it stays. If I say no, yeah, I'm not quite sure what that's doing. So we're gonna press on. This could be, again, I also want to just keep emphasizing they're bringing all of these pro features over from uiPress over into uiXpress, there could be some things that are transitioning, and that could be what we're seeing there. Let's go ahead and move on to analytics. Enable uiXpress analytics. Enable built-in analytics to track user behavior, page views, and performance metrics within your WordPress admin. Yes. Toggle that on. Let's click, let's refresh. With that on, how do we see our analytics? Where do we go? All right, not quite sure there either. So we were under analytics. We turned that on. Not sure where we would go. That's the WooCommerce stuff. Let's go back to the main dashboard maybe and turn on screen options. Nope, it's not in there. All right, let's go ahead and press on. It could be that it's being worked on. I mean, that could honestly be what it is. Let's go to media. Modern media library. I think even though the stuff is toggled off, I mean, it is on because we're seeing that it is modern. Well, actually, no, I take that back. That is not the modern. So let's go ahead and flip that on. Go back to media. There we go. So that's completely modernized. So you see you have really nice sorting here. That is really, really cool. You can get some videos, images, docs, sort, grid view. Under settings, you got all kinds of sort options, date ranges, tags, items per page, unused media. So there's going to be a section in here for your unused media. You've got to search, get the ability to add. Super, super cool. All right, let's go back over here. Oh, actually, let's go back. Let's click into an image. Okay, yeah, so this is all different too. Up here at the top, you have a nice convenient menu where you can switch between the different sizes of images. Over here on the right, you've got the title, the alt text, the caption, tags, full site URL, or the full image URL. You can optimize the image. I'm not sure what that's going to do. This will permanently optimize the image and convert to WebP format. This is so wild. Replace the image. That is cool. I've had to use plugins in the past when I wanted to do that, replace an image in place without deleting it, uploading a new, adding it to the page. Edit image. What does this do? This is wild. So you can completely. This is just wild. I'm really, really impressed. Blur, transform it. Wild. Okay, that is cool. That is the media library. This is just so neat. So neat. You got a nice layout here. File name, the ID, the file size, when it was modified, where it's used. Down here at the bottom, you've got some dimensions of the image, size, path, when it was uploaded. Very, very, very nice. Okay, let's go back a few screens to users. So we've got the modern users page. Let's go over there. So we've got a really nice ability to sort by the role, email addresses, their name, when they registered for the site. You can import users from here. You can download. So import, export, add. So you've got a nice new modern add user screen. You can send them a notification. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. All right. So let's go back. Comments. You want to modernize the comments page, replace the classic WordPress comments page with a modern responsive comment manager with improved features and better organization. I would say yes. So if I go to a post, Let's go back. Let's say no. Let's go to a post. So we didn't really dive in here, but you see when I click on settings, you've got some nice options here. So the post tables modernized as well. Got a sidebar view. Okay, new post still has you back in the default block editor. That's fine. Easily sort between published and all. If I had others like draft and stuff like that, that would appear. So we're kind of circling back here to the post table. So you, 3 dots, quick click. You can edit, view, duplicate. So duplication is built in here without an additional plugin. Let's go ahead and just try that out. Let's go buttons, duplicate. Oops. Buttons, duplicate. So cool. So cool. Clicking on that, you get back to, okay. There, but you also have that other view. Clicking here, toggling that on, you can click on the post, and then on the right side here, you get a quick map to edit when it was last edited, the status, the author, the categories, the URL. You get a preview here. So wild. All right, let's go to, I think I have comments turned on by default. But let's view this. I'm going to go back to this mode, and I want to view this. There we go. Here's our comments area. So that's the before. Let's go ahead and duplicate this. Let's go ahead and turn on our modernized comments page. Refresh. Comments are not allowed for this item. That's interesting. Okay, we're gonna we'll go ahead and skip that. I don't know why that's happening. I don't think I've turned off anything for comments. Yeah, we should be good here. There shouldn't be any issues. Yeah, I don't know why that would be. Let's, for fun, go in here and let's turn off the modern comments. Okay, so it's not that. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. We'll go ahead and move on. Could be something, again, I'm just going to keep saying it, that they are working on. Security. Enable role editor. So again, this could eliminate another plugin. Enable the modern role editor interface to manage user roles. So if we go over to users, here we go. This is the more modern role look, I'm guessing. If we turn that off, what does that look like? Looks to be the same. Enable the modern role editor interface to manage WordPress role. Oh, okay. I don't think this is on a user level. So this would be an actual tool. There we go. So on refresh, we got the role editor tool. There we go. So we can manage the existing roles and get granular as far as what they can do and their permissions. We can search roles. We can add a brand new role. My role. Create the role. Once you're in there, give them the permissions. So it starts with no permissions, it looks like. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. All right, let's go back over here to our main settings. Security, enable activity logger. Track and log all admin actions, including post changes, user updates, plugin. Yes, this eliminates another plugin potentially. Retention period. The log level, how granular, how much information should be logged. Auto cleanup, yes, let's auto cleanup after a certain amount of time. So it'd be after 90 days. Let's just do after 30 days. It's going to clean that up. Log level, we can choose all actions, save. Let's go ahead and refresh our screen. And here we go. So now we have an activity log. We can search it, filter it by particular actions, by object type, and so on and so forth. Let's go deactivate a plugin and come back here. Now we don't want to do that. Let's just activate this plugin. And let's go back over to IWP. We renamed uiXpress to IWP, so that's probably a bit confusing. So that's what that is. So here we go. So we see that there was something was activated, who activated it, their IP address, timestamp, user agent, details, super, super cool stuff. Under database, enable Database Explorer. Enable the modern Database Explorer interface to browse files, tables, view data, and execute SQL queries safely. Yes. Let's check it out. Save, refresh. Database Explorer. Awesome, awesome. You can search, sort, filter. So let's find users. There's our user table. I could go into this test author. Here's the information. Here's the structure. So this is more of an explorer versus being able to change. I don't think you can change anything, which is fine. Enable the modern database explorer, and you can also execute SQL queries. Okay, so if we go back to that, we can open the SQL editor from here and then run our queries. You have a nice history. You can clear it. You can run it. Wild, wild stuff. All right, let's just look down here real quick at these items. So we went through all of the settings. I hope I covered those well enough. Menu creator. One of the things about WordPress that I dislike the most is the menu creator and the menu itself. I think it's, especially when you're working with block themes, it's difficult. But even when you were just with the old, I don't know what else to call it, classic WordPress, just when you're working with the menus, it can be difficult and not that great. But I'm assuming it's going to be better here. So let's click on plus there to add a menu. Our menu settings, we can give it a name. Let's call it test menu. Apply. Oh, so you can get granular in who you apply the menu to. That is cool. Here we go. Select the roles. All right. I just want to give a menu to the administrator. Okay. And that looks good. Go ahead and update that. And here we can build the menu. We can add new links. We can add separators. We can click this here and get, this is really, really cool. All right, I'm going to delete this again. Let's start over. It won't let me delete that. Unable to connect. I'm still local. So again, because we have the remote sites, I'm guessing you can create menus remotely as well. I don't see why you couldn't. So let's try to create a new one again. Menu created. Settings. There we go. So this is our menu that we had in draft. Show to everybody, test menu. Let's go ahead and save that. Refresh. Okay, here we go. So I just wanted to make sure that that's what we were working with. So you've got buttons here for new links and separators. Apply menu to everyone. Yes, that's fine. That's cool. Status is draft. All right. So here you can click on a menu item. You can rename it, change the URL. You can put an icon. Open in a new tab. Mark it hidden. That's really, really cool. So if I wanted to add a new link, let's say we want to add a new link above my dashboard, we could go new link and click on that item. My custom menu item. Put the URL, whatever that URL might be, could be even a remote site, anywhere on the web. Icon, we'll just go ahead and leave that link icon that you see here that you can choose whatever icon you wish. Open in a new tab. Yeah, so let's pretend like this is a new site. We can go, or a full site, a different site other than this website, InfluenceWP.com. We're going to give it a link icon. We're going to open it in a new tab for fun and hidden. We can make it hidden if we want, but we're not going to. We're going to leave that on there. So when I click update here, this is in draft mode, and we know that, but also because it tells us here, and it's got this little orange icon. Updates. Now, how do we make this live? Here we go. So click on it, change it to active, and update. Refresh. Here we go. So here's my custom menu item that I added. That opens in a new tab. It's the InfluenceWP website. So you can fully build out as many menus as you want, customize them however you want. That's the menu creator. We looked at the admin notices already, whether you want to add them to this site or you want to send them to remote sites, or client sites, for example. We looked at the role editor. The activity log should be full of stuff now, and it is. Got the database explorer. Let's go back to the uiXpress website, pull up the features, and just make sure that hopefully we've talked about enough of them. Advanced dashboard, yeah. Global search. I don't know if I covered that well enough, but whatever it is that you're looking for in WordPress, you can find it here. Do a search. That's going to find you the settings of specifically in uiXpress. But I thought there was, you can also do like the control, which we saw, the control K. And we're starting to see those theme colors that we had come in there. But this is going to help you find everything. It kind of builds off of the WordPress command palette. I don't know. Let's try this. Plugins. Let's see if we can do a search for plugins here. Just WordPress in general. Nah, that's more of... Okay, so this is probably what they mean by the global search. That icon or the keyboard shortcuts to pull up the enhance WordPress command palette, if you will. Plugin manager. Yep, we saw that. Media library. Yep. Modern post. Yep. Users. Yep. Admin notices. Admin modernization. Yeah, and it's very fast. It says 0 performance impact. We've seen just how quick this is. All right, guys. I hope I covered this well. Lots to this, and again, from what I understand, there is a lot more to come, and WordPress could really learn a lot from hopefully this video, but if playing around with this plugin themselves and get some ideas. Obviously, what's tough is when you're a product creator that's created something this awesome, there's always the risk that WordPress could come along or anybody could come along and duplicate it, take some of the key components from it. But it's taken WordPress 20 years to start thinking about really making admin changes. So I think it's safe to say that all the features this plugin offers it's going to stick. It's going to stay around. I don't see it being replaced anytime soon by WordPress core. So really excited about this plugin. I had no idea it did all of these things. So I'm excited to play around with it more, especially as an agency, but even as a solo site owner, we've seen all of the things in there that just make it really neat. The analytics, I'm curious about. figuring out where that actually appears and what it's going to do. It could be a WIP, it could be a work in progress, and we're just not able to see it just yet. I'll just do one more search for it, and let me get you guys out of here. Analytics is turned on. Enable built-in analytics to track user behavior, page views, and performance analytics. I just don't know where to go to see it. I guess we could do one more test here under docs. Cards, analytics category cards, page card, analytics category cards, dashboard. Okay, how do we get it? Analytics settings. Maybe this will get us there. Maybe it's already built in analytics traffic review. Yeah, I just don't know where you get it. Get the analytics, but anyway, if I can update the video later if I figure it out. When I do figure it out, I don't know how to get it. I don't know how to get it. I don't know if it's on the individual screens. It's not part of the screen options that I see. Yeah, so I'm not sure. I can update the video once I find out. I'm just not seeing how to get to it. Okay. All right. Hope I did this plugin some justice. I love it. Hope you love it too. InfluenceWP.com. Find the deals area and grab the exclusive offer for uiXpress. And I will see you all in the next video.